Well, a fella done went and picked himself up a Fastback Mustang. This one is a 65 or it's a 66. Don't really remember. Now, one of the things that we're gonna be doing with this ride is gonna be making it make some power. Let's talk about the power plant. This is where everybody kind of gets worked up a little bit. Yeah. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. This is a greasy 6.0 liter LS Chevrolet engine. You cannot deny that these engines are here to stay. They're relatively economical to build. They make a whole lot of power with a little bit of effort. You can take a 6.0, 6.2, whichever one. Like 6.0s, they're not terribly expensive. You can kind of find one with the right kind of mileage on it. You can re-ring it, do a little bitty few upgrades on it. Cam swap, blah, 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 blah. Cool groovy tune. Next thing you know, this fire-breathing monster is making somewhere between 500 and 600 horsepower. And that's what we're wanting inside of this little bitty caboose. You get this little dinky car that weighs a little bit over 3,000 pounds. You put 600 horse up in here. Next thing you know, this thing, man, can change your attitude relatively quickly. All you do is pin her down that way, and if you got one of these that you can jab on one of them magic sticks, son, everything's right in the world. Now, I'm not saying an LS is right to put in this thing. All I'm saying is it can be an economical choice. When you start building some of that old school power, you know, some of those big cubic inch Fords, and you're trying to put it in that little dinky hole, it can get downright tedious and expensive, like crazy expensive. When we dropped the news, or kind of proposed the idea, if you will, people kind of got all turned up about it. And I get it. I totally get it. You know, you want to stay true to what this thing is, you know, heritage in a way. LS isn't really heritage. It's really not. Even though these motors are 20 years old, that technically makes them an antique, but it's not the same. So I had decided, you know, what the heck? Let me get this trash out of the way. Squeaky, 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 squeaky. Let me show you this little ride that we got here in the shop. There's some fancy work. It's been had. So what we got going on here is this thing has a Mustang 2 style front suspension that's been installed into it. It's got tubular control arms, upper and lower. It's got a power rack. And what's great about this thing is this will really speed up the input whenever you go to sawing on the steering wheel up there, well, the wheels down here actually move pretty quick. Whenever you use a gearbox, which would be mounted over in here, man, it seems like you'll do like 17 revolutions and the wheel just went, and that just, man, it'll wear you out. Now also, these cars have a big strut tower, kind of the coil spring pocket that's mounted up here, and it comes out pretty far. Well, how that's bad is whenever you get one of those over there and over here, well, that eats up into your engine bay. And you don't have all this room for festivities like what we got now. This allows you to put all kind of engine options in here. You want to go big block? You want to go small block? Do you want to go same block for some of those folks that, you know, for engine manufacturers that don't really make a big block or small block depending on the identification? You guys know who you are. So, you know, you can do whatever you want to now because this thing is huge. I mean, just check this thing out. Also, it kind of tidies things up. It really does. Now, the kit that we're using is a Mustang 2 style, like I told you earlier, but it was manufactured by Man Fabrication. However, now this company has went out of business due to whatever reasons, but this kit is pretty sweet. Now, if you notice, this stuff is pretty nice and tidy. Now we've got some bars set in there, those aluminum tubing pieces, and that's because we took out the coilovers in efforts just for mocking things up and to get the vehicle at ride height. Usually you want your lower control arms to be horizontal, and we kind of did that just for roll around purposes. Now, just a minute ago, I mentioned to you that I would show you its goods. Yeah, I don't think I ever need to talk like that again. My mama wouldn't be too proud of me for saying things like that. It's gonna be a little dark up under here. Still not getting better. So let me grab a light so you can see it. I apologize, sorry. Now, if you'll notice, this thing looks a little beefy. That's because, well, it's had some good bit of additions happened. It's got a Moser rear axle in it. It's got 31 spline, 33 spline, I don't remember. It's got a true track off up in there. It's got a gear set of, I believe it's 350s. And we also are running the RideTech 4-link rear kit. Now, what's great about that thing is it converts it over from that old school leaf spring to that 4-link setup, and it gives us the ability to have an adjustable coilover on it. And that's pretty snazzy. That'll help dial this thing in whenever, whatever we want to do. You know, if we want to take it to the track to go straight, or we want to take it to the track and carve out some corners, just whatever that tickles our fancy. Now also, we have widened the rear tubs. It's a little bit harder to see. Let me see if I can slide over here to the side. Now, if you'll notice, that wheel tub is all the way to right there, to that inner frame rail. Now, we widened this as far as we could go without notching the frame rail any significant amount. If you'll notice, that gives us a few or a couple of inches of room. That tire that's already on there, it's not the biggest, but that's about 8 inches wide or so. So that'll give us about a 10-inch wide tire, and that's pretty big under one of these little bitty cars. Yep, some pretty good equipment, I have to say. Also, it's not on there yet, but we've got Wilwood brakes on all 4 corners, but there's no need to have them on there right now, you know, because we're still in this mock-up stage. Oh yeah, another thing with this rear 4-link kit, what's good about this kit up, or this setup, is it's kind of the one that's got the most amount of clearance whenever you start running exhaust, because you got to think about that kind of thing. You know, sometimes you just get caught up and you just buy something, and then what happens is you start moving things around, and then you fix one problem, and then you just created 2 more issues. Now, the exhaust isn't going to be easy by any means, especially whatever the size that we're going to be running. Whenever you start getting up in those nooks and crannies and all that kind of stuff up in there, whoo-wee, things get a little taut, to say the least. Just what we do. Y'all know what I mean. Wanted to stop for just a second and say thank you guys for all your support. And if you haven't yet, please click that little subscribe button. It does us a lot more good than you think it does. And I also want to say thanks for all your support that you've done so far. We've covered up quite a bit of ground in this short amount of time, and it's actually blown me away. I've got people calling me, people cheering us on, and guys, we appreciate those too. Any and all those comments, good or bad, please leave them. We read them, and that helps us to, you know, refine what we're doing. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks again, and don't forget, keep it between the ditches. You might need you one of them shirts. Jeez, first day, Tom. We're gonna slide this thing out a little bit. It would probably be safer here, but hopefully it don't weigh over that. I mean, them old motors, they can be heavy, especially them big ones. I mean, about 1,000 pounds, half of a ton. Man, this old girl is heavier than it seems. That S10 probably like, oh goodness, thank you. I tell you, people are gonna love to talk about this thing. So there it is. What do you think? That is a Hemi. 4 strong letters that is spelled H-E-M and I. Wait, H-E-M-I. Hemi. Yep. I'm thinking maybe try to see if this thing will fit off up into there. You can't get anything more iconic, historically or even modern times, than a Hemi. I mean, these things make, shoot, gobs of power. You can put one of them little air compressors on the top, make 700, 707, let's see, 807, 808, 840, 1040, right? And for you Ford guys, if you think about it, you look at this thing from the side, it's a front sump. However, with this modern upgrade that we've got with that Mustang 2, I'm not real sure if this is gonna fit. I mean, it's almost that this thing is made to go in there. Looks very similar. I mean, this way, it's late model power, makes good power. These things aren't really all that expensive either. It's quite a bit more simple than a Coyote. Man, a Coyote, a few of you guys are sitting there probably yelling at the screen right now saying, dude, you need to be putting in a Coyote. And I get it. We just put one of those in a 62 Country Squire wagon. And yeah, they look massive. However, the cubic inches aren't really there. Them things are little bitty. And you can make them make power and put a supercharger on them and turn them things to the moon and back. But there's just something, you guys have heard that old saying, you know, there's no replacement for displacement. This little bitty one right here, this is what they call the little one. It's a 5.7. They make a 6.1, 6.2. That's a Hellcat motor, like my Winnebago's got in it. Yeah, and it's downright a ball. And if that thing will move like it does, weighing what it does, and it's got the aerodynamics of a cracker box, just imagine what one of them would do in one of those. If you guys are game, y'all just calm down, breathe in your nose, out your mouth. And let's just see if this big greasy ball of nonsense will fit into that thing over there. See what it looks like. We may get it in there and it's just as funky as two cousins kissing. I mean, just wrong. I guess it all depends on, you know, how hot your cousin is. So we're gonna put this in there. Y'all calm down. Let's just see how it goes. I know you're freaking out. It's a Mopar, it's a Chrysler going into one of these horses. But I've been told I'll get to work and I'll do both things. I'll work and talk at the same time. Now I've been told Mr. Henry Ford and them Dodge brothers actually worked together at one time. And then they had some kind of dispute, as oftentimes business folks do. And next thing you know, they parted ways. So I don't know if Henry Ford would completely roll over in his grave. He might sit up and say like, what you doing? Kind of like your mom. You know, your mom's, just like she's got eyes in the back of her head. You kind of sneak in a cookie, something like that. And she goes, yeah, you put it back, I see you. This time she's saying, stop, think of something else. But we're just gonna see. Hope my cherry picker get high enough. Choo, 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 choo. I don't know if this Mustang or this Hemi's gonna bust into flames. Ooh, the cherry picker ain't liking it. You know, there for a minute, I had a Chevy vision and I was looking at that oil pan and I was like, oh crap, the motor's turned around backwards. That is nice. All righty. Now it's time to do the deal. See if that thing will fall off in there. Are y'all cringing? Are you freaking out? Telling me to, I can hear you saying, stop, Tom, stop. Oh! Mustang almost is doing the same. Houston, she is landed. I'm not gonna lie, it don't look the craziest. Let me fiddle her around here just a minute. Whew, y'all wanna come look at this. You hear the Jaws music right now? I'm gonna creep up on this thing. Now to some folks, this motor right here, if you didn't tell them it was a Hemi, they wouldn't know. It looks like any other late model motor. It's got them giant wide valve covers, just like a Coyote. However, it doesn't have that built by Ford or Coyote or powered by Ford or whatever pops on over top of all your spark plugs and your coils. And it doesn't have an intake on it. So you don't really know that it's supposed to have little bitty holes instead of these massive, huge breathe-through holes like a Hemi's have. Now right here, this valley right here looks pretty close to like a Coyote. It's got some of these goofy tubes like a Coyote. It's got this better water pump design instead of this goofy thing right over here that's got like an inlet and an outlet and a eyelet and a thermostat and then a heater hose and whew, a Coyote. Right here, there's some dude who got paid a whole lot of money to engineer something. It's an engineering marvel. Look at the amount of room. I mean, it's got that kind of room on both sides of this thing. We slide around over here, still plenty of room. Up front, doesn't have a belt drive. You think about a Ford with a water pump and a shaft and all this stuff. Then the next thing you gotta do is put belts and brackets and all that nonsense. Hanging way over here on a Chrysler, right here is where the alternator goes. Massive amount of room. Over here is the AC compressor. Massive amount of room. It is a little tall though. You know, you look down here across the top of them fenders. Oh gosh, you get level with them fenders and you still see a bracket, which a lot of that can be solved with the replacement of that thing, the oil pan. That thing can go down, shoot, man, like 6 inches. Yep, because it's sitting on top. Yep, see, sitting right on top. I don't know. This could be an option. You guys let me know what you think. Tell me yes, tell me no. Tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm awesome. Tell me what your opinion is. I'm really curious. There you have it. I'm not saying this is a done deal. I'm just saying, what do you think? Hemi and a Mustang. I'm telling you. Something that makes about 500-600 horse would be pretty awesome in this little dinky car. I know there's been worse decisions made. Some of you talk about needing to do a V6, and I get, I'm against that, guys. I'm 100% against that. The reason for it is because of the sound. When that thing sounds like a bee in a cup, if it sounds like a super bee, you know what I mean, like a 392, I'm okay with that. Because whenever those things start, just like a Ford power plant, a Mopar power plant, or even those V8 Chevrolets, when them cars or those engines fire up, you can feel that in your soul. Not saying a V6 won't do it for you. I'm just telling you, it don't shake, give me the heebie-jeebies like I like, you know what I'm saying? Did we screw up? I think we screwed up. Just testing you there to see what you'd say. You're like, yeah. It's kind of like when your wife asks you, like, did you like supper last night? You say, and she goes, I didn't really like it. And you go, well, good, I didn't like it either. And she says, I really did like it. Anyhow, sorry.